Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Gent here, and today I'm bringing you the first in a shortish series covering the controls and mechanics of a new Arma 3 mod released not long ago called Desolation. Now, just a quick backstory for those who don't know, Desolation is a really fun game mode I've been playing for the past couple of weeks. It's essentially Arma 3 DayZ mod made by a different developer named Optics. Link to the mod subscription is in the description below. Really easy to start playing. You just subscribe to the mod in the workshop and all the dependencies underneath it. On the Steam Workshop, and they auto download and update, and you just join a server by filtering by role-playing game and the word Desolation. So please do check it out, it's a ton of fun. Now, in the game, there is a custom UI. It's kind of semi-similar to the Altis Life one, where you perform such actions as checking your hunger, thirst, general health, whether you're bleeding, whether you're infected, have a broken limb, all that kind of stuff. The way you access this menu is by hitting Shift I or Shift H. I use Shift I, so that's what I'm going to be referring to in this guide. That brings up the menu where you can craft, bandage, eat, drink, all that good stuff that is not native to Arma's engine. So I'll start with the status effects. Currently there are 7 status effect indicators: hunger, thirst, broken legs, infected, bleeding, starvation, and dehydration. Obviously, starvation, dehydration, hunger, and thirst are intrinsically linked, so I'll cover them all together. I don't need to cover them separately. Basic message of it all is stay well fed and watered, otherwise you die. Pretty simple. This topic is probably going to be the first event you will likely encounter, which is bleeding. You know you're bleeding when the message in the bottom right corner pops up telling you in big red writing. It blurs your aim, it makes your weapon sway, and also the status indicator on the Shift I menu has a bleeding indicator which turns red when it's true. Very simple to fix. All you need to do is hit Shift I, select the bandage in your inventory, then click Use underneath that. Bear in mind this animation is uncancelable, as with all the menu animations, so do it somewhere safe. You spawn with 2 bandages, and they can be looted from any type of building apart from military and possibly industrial. I'm not quite sure if I've found one there yet. It's obviously most common in hospitals. Now, if you don't have a bandage, that's where it gets a little bit tricky, but as long as you know the following tip, you should be alright. You can rip clothes into bandages. To do this, the clothes need to be in your backpack. You can't be wearing them on your person. And you hit Shift I, select the clothes in the right hand menu, hit Move to Crafting underneath that, and highlight the clothes in the left hand crafting menu. Underneath that, after you've highlighted it, should appear bandage in the middle menu section. You need to highlight that and hit Craft Item underneath that. You'll do an animation and will have crafted a bandage you can treat your wounds with. Good idea to keep a few bandages on you. Now, with food and water, it's pretty self-explanatory. If the food/water status indicators are in the top bracket, it'll be bright green colour. That means you've got the maximum or nearly the maximum full stomach of food and water, basically. This means if you're injured, you will regenerate blood every few seconds, so it's very useful to keep on top of that. Conversely though, if it's red, or if you're in dehydration or starvation mode, you'll be losing health every few seconds. I'd argue it's best to keep them in the top range at all times just to be safe. Food is ample in most buildings, excluding military and medical, so it can be found in farming and residential buildings, which are absolutely all over the map. The biggest spawns for food appear to be supermarkets and 2-story farmhouse buildings at the moment. Everything I just said also applies to drinks, but I found them to be a little bit rarer than food. You can find canned drinks or water canteens. The water canteens can be one of 3 things. They can be full and purified. That's the safe option, no risk of any infection with that. Full and unpurified is the second one. That gives you a small percentage chance to make you infected after you drink it. I believe it's increased if you're on a lower blood level than the max. And the third way you can find canteens is just empty, which you can fill. You spawn with 1 purified water canteen from the start. So to eat or drink, simply bring up the menu with Shift I and either double click the item or highlight it and select Use at the bottom. It's as simple as that. With thirst, obviously you want to have the lowest chance of potential sickness, but sometimes you just have to drink unpurified water. Sometimes you don't have a choice. If you do get sick, infected, The item you need is antibiotics, found in medical spawns and sometimes residential spawns, such as supermarkets. To use it, it's the same way as eating and drinking. Shift I, double click the antibiotics. There's currently two ways to purify water. You boil it on a campfire, or you put a water purification tablet in the bottle. Both of these methods completely eliminate the possibility of getting infected from the water. Boiling the water is a bit more involved than purifying it, because you've got to make the campfire. With the tablets, all you need to do is use the crafting menu. You press Shift I, highlight the unpurified canteen, hit Move to Crafting, so it's now on the left hand side of your screen. Highlight the water purification tablets on the right side of your screen, move to Crafting again, so they'll both be on the left, and then highlight the canteen in the crafting menu on the left, giving you an option to get purified water just underneath it, which you craft by highlighting the purified water underneath it and click craft item underneath that. I'm going to talk about crafting the fireplace in the next video, as it's slightly more advanced crafting, but I'll put it all together just so you can watch it back to back. I want to keep these kind of a bit tight, these videos. To boil the water, once you have a campfire, you stand over the lit fire, move the water to the crafting menu by highlighting it and hitting Move to Crafting underneath. Highlight the unpurified water in the crafting menu, then highlight the boiled water under that and hit Craft Item at the bottom. Same as you did with the tablets, basically. To fill an empty canteen with water, you need to find a water source, so that's either a well or a pond. When you're there, you need to be in the vicinity of it. You press your Shift I to bring up the menu. You move your empty canteen over into the crafting menu, highlight it, and then underneath it'll say unpurified water. You want to select that and hit Craft Item underneath that. So, on to the last status, broken legs. You break your legs by falling from a tall height, and the effect is you can't jog or sprint. You're stuck in a painfully slow walk or crawl. You can fix this with two methods: applying a splint or applying morphine to yourself. You apply them both in the same way as you use anything. Shift I, highlight, use. So it's what I've been saying all the way through this video, basically. You find morphine in hospitals and you have to craft a splint. With regards to crafting the splint, like the fireplace, it's a bit more involved, and I want to keep everything neatly together in its own video. So to find that one out, check out the second part of this video. So one last thing is your blood level. This is an unseen stat. You know it's happening by the desaturation of your screen. The more desaturated it is, the less blood you have. You gain blood by having your food and water in the green on the effects menu, or you can fast track it with a blood bag. Someone else has to give you the blood bag. To use an already filled blood bag, or to fill an empty one using the same method, it's Shift I, highlight the blood bag when in the vicinity of someone you wish to give or take the blood from, and hit Use. Now, I reckon that pretty much covers it for the basics of the game. Cheers for watching. I do hope you found this useful, and I shall see you in the next part. Take it easy, everyone.